Hey there, how's it going? What is up, everybody? Irish Orangutan is back to pass along what you need to know to get better at Madden and grow your Mutt team. Enjoy the show. Today we are back to talk about the best team no money can buy. In Madden 20 Ultimate Team, we have been building and grinding and playing a lot more head to head this year than we have in the past on Madden Ultimate Team with combined franchises and things like that. Played just about as many user games in previous Maddens, but this year taking our talents to Madden Ultimate Team Online and have been really enjoying our time with it. I feel as if the team that we've been able to put together here has really helped me out, and again, besides purchasing the game, have not had to spend any money on it. So really is something that you are able to go out and accomplish as well. Have had a little bit of luck trading in players and getting a couple of good players, but besides that, it's just really been grinding. I don't really take a lot of huge risks, so that does allow me to continuously grow. I've been able to put up one overall each of the past few weeks, so that is very, very exciting that I've been able to do so. Coin stack is a little bit low right now, working on a couple of investments, but this team has allowed me to get a lot of wins and head to head and put together my team in different ways also. But really, comparing the team with last week, the offensive line has stayed the same. I think straight across the board exactly the same. I will be working on adding some backup offensive linemen, but I will be discussing that a little bit further on, exactly why I will be doing that when we get to the wide receivers. But at tight end, George Kittle, Delaney Walker, Trey Burton. I still believe is the best budget tight end. He's just as good as Delaney Walker. He's actually really good after the catch. Kittle is just tremendous, straight line speed. Love having him on the field, and he does a tremendous job at what he does. Going down to the wide receiver position, we are starting to get some depth here, and something that I have wanted to do since the beginning of the year, with no huddle being overpowered, is really getting after people. Not necessarily every play, but 3 or 4 plays in a row, and having almost a hockey lineup set up with 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back. And then doing so pretty much with my offensive line as well. Offensive line is the big thing that I have an issue with at this point, because my backups are not nearly as good as my starters, so it would not make a lot of sense for me to do so. But with prices crashing this weekend, it really gives you the opportunity to try to do so, and hopefully every Friday going into Saturday, prices will be a little bit better. But going into the running back position, they are set up to go into that hockey type of lineup as well, and actually have some of them split out to wide receiver. Marcus Allen is absolutely tremendous at doing so, and Bo Jackson definitely gives you the opportunity to set yourself apart. It is kind of crazy how good he is compared to some of the other running backs without his limited card. But did want to note, we did get a couple wide receivers up to 90. Torrey Holt and Andre Reed got up to the 50 level cap. Tyreek Hill has the best speed along with Torrey Holt, so like to run them both on streaks. Odell Beckham does a tremendous job of getting down the field as well with that streak specialist. Antoine Randall L, I'm currently using my power up pass on him, but he does a solid job and is tremendous after the catch. Do use my fullbacks a lot. I do have Ricard on the bench, potentially could put him at the backup, but don't really have the need for that at this time. Then at quarterback, still going with Mahomes. He's tremendous in the red zone, and that's when I need him the most. If I throw the ball 15 times a game, I'm usually pretty happy. With this stable of running backs, I should be running the ball more than what I even am, to be perfectly honest. And my line is set up for that running game along with my tight ends as well. Looking on the defensive end, we have made some upgrades here, but things are looking quite similar. Mal Blount, I've gotten up to that 90 overall. He was my my free safety, excuse me, for a long period of time. Really don't have any free safeties that I like in the game at this point, so I actually have these 4 strong safeties, and I have Tillman up to an 82 overall now as well. So running all these guys in at free, strong, and sub linebacker as well. Am still able to run Shazier and do a tremendous job with him. Just usering, but does leave something wanting when you're trying to go up for some of those passes that goes over his head. One of the main keys to my defense is this Lawrence Taylor and then Demarcus Lawrence down here. They bring the pressure from the edge just as good as anybody can, just about every play. I do have Joey Bosa as my other superstar active over here. Excuse me, on offense, I apologize. I did not show you those. We do have Torrey Holt, and working with him with Slot Apprentice and then Slotomatic, I think is the other one. Just better abilities to get in and out of routes, so that does help immensely. And then with Mahomes again in the red zone, that helps a lot. And with Odell Beckham just getting some of those chemistry stock does help a whole bunch because those are very expensive to put on your players at this point. Have worked with Stephon Gilmore, used his abilities, have put one on Shazier and one on Houston. We're using them before the defensive lineman kind of became in vogue and Gut Fox started talking about them a little bit more. But really do appreciate just being able to rush two or three. Have been running a lot of 3-3-5 odd, having LT, Demarcus Lawrence, Joey Bosa up front, and then having Anthony Barr being the odd man. Most of the time putting him in a QB spy, just getting ready for those Steve Young ran offenses, but also that really does throw a wrench in a lot of people's drags and other things they try to do over the middle. And if they're trying to break the pocket, which 33 to 50% of the people do, you're able to send that QB spy. And as my timing's getting better with that, my defense is getting much better. So that's something that I would advise doing. And then I run a 3-4 cover, or excuse me, a cover 3 shell behind that, and then work in cover 2 and cover 4 very infrequently. Do try man, but only run that 3 or 4 times a game depending on the situation. Yeah, again, I would stick with strong safeties. At middle linebacker, there aren't a lot of great options. I have had Deion Jones here. He's doing a great job. Kerrigan, love him to death, just isn't quite fast enough to keep up with some of those quarterbacks that you need to. He's even slower than Patrick Mahomes, so not necessarily the best fit, but is a great fit there. Denzel Ward, Patrick Peterson, both great man guys. Peterson is getting beat over the top a little bit too much now, but really like him there. Miles Garrett, Jonathan Allen just there for chemistry, but Garrett, love playing him at the defensive tackle position. Kenny Clark actually does do a tremendous job of eating up the middle of the field and playing 3-4. If I ever were to go to that, if someone was running consistently on me, Goldman doesn't necessarily make the field all that often. Was thinking about using that chemistry on him and making one of my superstars, but I would much rather be able to rush the passer than be able to shut down one part of the middle of the field, which most people don't run at most of the time. And once he's able to get off that block, he might not be able to get done anything anyway, so that is a little bit of a bummer. But just kind of keeping things steady with the defense. They have not been my weak point this year. Special teams has been at one point, missed a few too many kicks, spent way too much money, but went out and got this Jason Elam. It does change games when you're able to have that slow kick meter going back and forth. I know you're able to do it fairly consistently, but every once in a while when you're online, it isn't quite as consistent as it should be, so really having that steady kick meter really does help out immensely. But that's really what we have today. Definitely go out and get that Bo Jackson, the 89 overall version. You can still go out and put the chemistries on him to make him better at trucking, and with that stiff arm, that's not necessarily where I'm going at this time. I'm switching out my running backs frequently. I might go away from having Odell Beckham and Holt have those and try to have 3 on my running back or maybe even just 2 and see how that goes dependingly if I keep running the ball as well as I have so far. But just things that I need to keep working on and keep my passing game going as well. I'm currently in the Raiders playbook on offense. I was in Patriots and Redskins at the beginning of the year. Patriots, I think, is one of the best playbooks. Raiders is very similar to the Redskins, obviously the Gruden brothers, but then having some of those RPOs that are a little bit better, along with some of those Patriot type concepts, I really feel as if the Raiders playbook, if you're a runner, sets itself apart a little bit. If you're a passer, I think the Patriots might still be the way to go. So, just a couple things to think about. That is what we have for the team today, though. I wish you all the best and take care. Thank you for checking into the Irish Orangutan channel. Keep coming back for more Madden knowledge. There will be consistent videos up every week, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to see them all. Come by Twitch to engage and hit me up on Twitter at Irish Orangutan. Take care and much love, everybody.